Gary, I wanted to pivot to the issue of crypto, something that you're very familiar with. You taught a whole class at MIT about crypto, and thus far the SEC has not gotten into the business of trying to regulate it. You've made some comments that you think that Congress ultimately will have to do it. What do you think, to the extent that it should be regulated, how would you do it? What are you thinking?
Well, so you're right. I was honored to teach not just one, but a multiple levels of different courses in financial technology and in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. I think to the extent something is a security, the SEC has a lot of authority, and a lot of crypto tokens, I won't call them cryptocurrencies for this moment, but crypto tokens are indeed securities. The prior chair had indicated that. The prior SEC brought numerous enforcement actions to sort of bring some of those security or investment contract tokens into the rules. But there are some, like Bitcoin, if I can just focus on that, and that's about half of this $2 trillion asset class right now. It's a digital, scarce store of value, but highly volatile. And there's investors that want to trade that and trade that for its volatility, in some cases just for it has lower correlation with other markets. I think that we need greater investor protection there. And we don't have a federal regime overseeing the crypto exchanges. So if an investor wants to trade on that Bitcoin, understanding it's highly volatile, highly speculative, but if they want to trade on that we have in place some investor protection. And that's what I was saying, I think, is a gap in our system right now.
But it's a gap in our system that needs to be addressed by whom? Is that something that Congress will have to address? Because it's very possible Congress won't address it. And if they don't, is that something that you think you have an angle to address?
Well, I think that as it relates to Bitcoin, and I'm not speaking to all the other tokens right now, but as it relates to Bitcoin, while our sister agency, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, has some limited anti-fraud and anti-manipulation authority, there's no federal authority to actually bring a regime to the crypto exchanges. Whether it's stock exchanges or futures exchanges, there's regimes that were put in place in the 1930s to help protect against fraud and manipulation on the exchanges and protect the integrity of that. And I think that's really something that we'll be working with Congress, and if they see fit, to try to bring some protection for people that want to invest in this speculative asset class.
In terms of that protection, though, how do you think of the role of social media? I mean, this goes back to GameStop, but also you're seeing it in crypto. Elon Musk is going to be on SNL this weekend. We've watched Dogecoin nearly double over the week as people speculate that he's going to do a segment or a skit around that. He's been on Twitter talking about these things. What do you think of the celebrities taking to Twitter? We're looking at a tweet right now. Let's find out how live Saturday Night Live really is. And literally just on the backs of these kinds of communications, you're seeing stocks move, you're seeing crypto move. When you think about investor protection, what do you do about that, if anything?
So I think that we've lived every decade we get new technologies. There were debates 100 years ago whether to allow a telephone on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and here we're in the 2020s. We need to update and freshen our rules to ensure that while retail investors and any individual has First Amendment rights to speak and so forth, that they're not misleading the public, they're not manipulating the public, manipulating the markets. In the securities field, we have a lot of authorities to do that. In a number of these crypto fields, not so clear if it's Bitcoin, for instance, which has been deemed not to be a security. But I do think that we're going to be freshening up our rules and really hearing from the public. I think that the community and the social media is good, but let's recognize also that now computers can train on that social media, do something which is called sentiment analysis. This is computers watching our words. In fact, this interview right now probably is being interpreted in sentiment analysis, meaning a computer somewhere is taking Andrew's and my words and saying, what does it mean for the markets? Now, the stock market's not yet open, but what does it mean for the markets?